two classes haven't seen each other's work, so it's going to be fun for all of us to get to see everybody's stories. My name is Nicole Florent, and I have a background in literature and a background in education, but probably my most pertinent background for this is my puppetry arts. And I have a small puppet company called Carte. And I've been very fortunate that every year since these kids were in kindergarten, I've been allowed to come into their classroom and play with them with puppets. And I think for this reason, in part, when I came in, even though they're big fifth graders now, they were still just as excited, and I love that. You guys have so much enthusiasm. I forgot to say, I really wanted to thank Mrs. de Guzman, because even though I've been allowed in the classroom for a year, and I got to come 6 weeks in a row, I think. This is week 7. So I really appreciate teachers who are open to putting in the extra energy and effort that it takes, and teaching is exhausting as it is, and also for being open to thinking outside of the box of how things are usually structured in the classroom. So I appreciate that. And then I wanted to talk about what we hope to achieve in this project. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So it's already a little bit of what Mrs. de Guzman said, but we would like them to get to a deeper understanding of constructing a narrative. And by not just any narrative, an effective narrative. And by effective, I mean you get the point across that you're trying to, right? If you want it to be sad, it's sad. If you want it to be in a beautiful location, you make that reader really feel the beauty in those words, right? So in order to get to that point, we need to break open our creativity, and we need to leave aside all the rules of writing which can constrain us when we're thinking, oh, I have to start with a topic sentence. What am I going to start with? Suddenly we lose our creativity. So I feel very strongly that it is within play that we break open out of those confines and are able to think creatively and come up with the ideas that later we can package using those tools, which are the rules of writing, so that our point comes across and is like saved on paper in your words, right? So that's what we were hoping to do with our play. And so we chose object puppetry to do this. These kids learned from kindergarten that anything can be a puppet, right? Just about anything we ever have around. So they were kind of, they were open to the idea of playing with objects. And I gave them an example based on a book they had read in class, and they immediately got it. They knew what the objects represented and why I chose them, and it was really fun for me to watch them engage with that. So in object puppetry, does anyone want to tell your parents what defines object puppetry? Does anyone want to volunteer? Yeah. Well, what do we use? I mean, it's called object puppetry, so what is an object? Yes, Jade?
It's really just something that you might find around your house or anywhere, and you can make it into a puppet and bring it life.
Exactly. So any object, without altering it, that's the purest form of object puppetry. You don't add eyes, you don't add hair, you just use the object as is. Now, people play with that medium, but the purest form is to just use an object. And so we asked them to think about the intentionality in their writing. If you want someone to think something or feel something, you need to use your words to do that. And in object puppetry, you need to choose an object intentionally, with purpose. So I asked them, why are you choosing this object? What does it represent? What is it trying to tell about your story? So that was already a challenge for them. So I say there were 3 challenges here, 3 main challenges. One was choosing the object intentionally. One was just coming up with a story. That's a challenge for any of us who have tried that. One is working in a new medium, right? Many of you have never put on a puppet show with just using objects. And finally, working as a group is a challenge. And I have to say that what impressed me most, every week that I came to your classroom, you guys had a lot of enthusiastic energy. You were all really positive and you were ready to work. And I think every single one of you were engaged in this project. And so I think that you are definitely up for this challenge. And I think being part of this challenge prepares you for other unusual challenges that await you in the future. So I'm really excited to watch your show. And the format this is going to take is kind of like a workshop. These are still works in progress, and so as they're playing, I'm going to stop them in between, and I'm going to ask them a few questions, and I'm going to define for you what I see. And that will help you. Basically what we're doing is we're like cracking open their minds, and you get to see the workings inside their brains as they're coming up with these stories. So with that, I think we can begin.
I'm a lucky group that gets